Hi, this is Mike Fear from Now You're Cooking. Welcome to our little demonstration here. Before I start demonstrating our cream scones today, just let you know that we are open for the general public. We are open Monday through Saturday from 10 till 5 and on Sunday from 10 till 4. We are asking everybody to wear a mask, and also we like to have people use hand sanitizer, etc. If you are uncomfortable with that, we are still doing the curbside service, so don't worry about that. So we also will have every Thursday, as we are today, 5 o'clock, we will have a demonstration of some sort. We also are going to have a cooking class coming up. It's basically a paid-for cooking class. Our very own Chris Toy is going to be doing a class, and you can call to find out how you can buy a place in that class. It is going to be a Zoom class, and you just buy the connection time. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and show you a very simple scone recipe. It came originally from Cooks Illustrated, and I've been using it for years. It's a cream scone recipe. So to start off with, I'm going to do it using my handy dandy food processor. This is a Breville food processor. I wouldn't be without it. It's just great for pastry. It's great for all sorts of things. So I'm going to first of all put 10 ounces of flour, and I do weigh the flour. I think if you can possibly do that, it's a much more accurate way to bake. I do it with my bread, I do it with everything. Scale is wonderful. Now I'm putting in 3 tablespoons of sugar, just a regular granulated sugar. And gotta have baking powder in this one. That's a tablespoon of baking powder, and then half a teaspoon of salt. So now I'm doing it with a food processor. You can certainly do it with a dough blender. We have those for sale right here. So now I'm just going to power it up, and I'm going to give it just a couple of pulses here. One for good measure. And doing that basically gets the baking powder all mixed in with the flour and the salt and the sugar. Next, I am going to add my butter, which I left in the fridge. I'm just going to head over to the fridge. And why is it in the fridge? Because I want my butter nice and cold. The butter is already cut up somewhat, and this is it's actually a 2.5 ounces. So on it's 5 tablespoons on the stick. You can cut it off of a stick. So it's cut up. Now I'm going to put it in, and I'm going to pulse again. And I pulse about 10 or 11 times with that. So turn the power back on and pulsing. And it sort of turns it into a sort of like cornmeal almost. And I think that's pretty good. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use, right here, I'm going to use currants. Currants. These are like small raisins. And this is how I normally do it. You can use raisins, you can use golden raisins, you can use chocolate chips. There's a whole range of things you can use. So again, I'm going to just quickly give it a quick pulse just to distribute and there you go. Next thing I need is I need a bowl, and I'm going to put all of this into the bowl. And one thing we like about this, with a lot of food processors, you do this and the blade falls out just like that. If you hit it hard enough, it will. Typically this one will grip really well, so you can dump everything out without losing this. So it's not really good when you try to demonstrate a feature and it doesn't quite work, but that is one of the features of that one. The next thing I need is my cream, and I've got a cup of cream right here. I'm going to use vanilla essence. This is really great vanilla essence. It's the real McCoy, comes from Mexico, and so I'm going to put two teaspoons, and this gives it just a wonderful flavor. Now, if you didn't use vanilla. You could use an orange oil or a lemon oil, any flavoring you like, just to give it a change up. And so once I have that in there, and I'm going to just quickly mix it with my spoon to make sure it's well distributed. And then I'm just going to pour it right in here. Very simple. And set that aside. And then I am going to use my spoon, which I can use this one right here that I had ready for myself. So you see I'm just mixing it together, and it'll start to bind together, and eventually it'll be mixed together enough that I can start to knead it. And again, this is pretty straightforward. And what I like to do is get my hand with some flour on it so that it doesn't all stick to my hand. And now I can start to knead it together, and all the dry pieces I'm going to get pulled together. And orange oil, I should have made one with orange oil and chocolate chips. That's really decadent. And once you've made these, you can serve them with jam, jelly. I like them with clotted cream. I grew up with scones and clotted cream in England. Used to make my own clotted cream. We grew up on a dairy farm, so I would make my own clotted cream. And here you see, I've got this. I can roll it out a bit. And again, a little bit of flour isn't a bad thing. You don't need much flour when you have one of these silicone rolling mats. They really make sure it doesn't stick. And so what do we bake it in? Well, there's a number of things you can use. We have, right over here, you'll see we have a round baking one, makes the big traditional scones. And then right next to it, you'll see the mini scone pan. And in fact, the mini scone pan is what I'm going to use today. Why use a mini scone pan? Everybody wants lots of scones. Well, not everybody wants a big scone. Some people want to have a scone which is a bit more manageable. So with this one, you make, instead of 8 big scones, you make 16 little ones. And so in order to transfer this to here, I'm just going to make a guess at sort of how to cut through there and cut through. And I happen to be using this. Normally I would use a bench knife. I'm not using one today because I set it somewhere else and I don't remember where I set it. So these things happen when you're actually cooking, even the best well-laid plans. So you can see how these just pop into these spaces, just like so. Incidentally, I have my already have my oven on at 425, somewhere in that range. 410, 425 is a good temperature. And then as you see, this part is just a little fiddly, but when they come out, you'll really enjoy them. They're a great gift. You make a bunch for people. They really enjoy them. Everybody at the store today knew I was going to be doing this, and they wanted to make sure that there would be some tomorrow morning for them. So great breakfast item, great tea item. In England, we have them for tea. That's the clotted cream and scones is a standard if you ever go to England, especially down in the southwest. Cornish clotted cream. What we have here is Devonshire double cream. So this is pretty close to being ready to going in. One last little piece of decadence. I've got a basting brush, and I'm just going to put a little cream on the top and just glaze the top of each of these with a bit of cream. And you don't have to do this if you feel it's decadent enough. Just basically put it right in the oven. And once I've got the cream on there, I'm next going to take and just shake a little sugar on the top. And just gives a nice finish to it. Okay. And then I'm ready to put this in the oven. Before I put it in the oven, I wanted to demonstrate another type of way to bake them. And here, lo and behold, here you see I've done it in a silicone scone pan. And again, these are, there's 8 fairly good sized scones right there. And so I'm going to put this other one in, and we'll have 16 coming out shortly. And that is pretty much all there is to it. It's pretty quick. 15 minutes in the oven, and don't eat them right away. Let them cool off a little bit, but 20 minutes and I'm sure you can enjoy one with some butter on it, some cream. Don't forget, we are open here. If you have any questions about our classes, just give us a call at 443-1402. You can always email us also, and our website is www.acooksemporium.com. And thank you for watching today.